What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we're kicking off tonight with Bitcoin Cash. Gotta love it, man. We're having a green day today at the moment. We're up 3%. That's nice to see. Looks like our little red stint is over as of now. We have 5 red days, and we are showing, at the moment, 2 green days. It's not totally condemning. This is not totally condemning, but I generally don't like to see a day within the first 2 hours being up this high. I mean, like you can look back, even this day that closed green, right? I mean, we went down afterwards, but look at the wick. It's not big, but it's noticeable, right? Where this one is like really small. Like generally, even the red days, right? They go up first. The red days, they go up first. This right here, it happens, right? Like where you barely have a wick. I'm gonna move the cursor away so you can see it. You have a little nut, but that's not common, right? And it just really it really doesn't happen too often. And I don't know. It doesn't mean that this can't be a green day, but I would just automatically, when I see something like this, I normally presume it could be a red day actually. But that can change. Let's see if I'm wrong on that. Let's actually see what the technicals are showing us. At the moment, we had this nice little, actually for an hour here on the hourly basis, we had this nice little plateau. We broke above it. We actually tested the top of it as support. What was once resistance became support, and we moved up higher. Gotta love it. You gotta love to see that. It's not a bad thing at all. We're sitting at 250 right now. I know it seems nice after all the red days, but guys, we're at 250, right? The breakout zone really was like up here on a daily close at 265. We're well below that. We could genuinely, it's possible to go all the way back up to this line and then proceed lower. Again, I've been saying that I don't expect this move to be a dramatic move to the downside. I do expect it to be more methodical. I don't normally give time analysis, but my projection is that we will probably have the low point of this move sometime in the last week of July or sometime in August. And I would think closer to the first week of August and the last week of July. I would think somewhere in there, but it could go on longer than that. And where are we right now? Well, we're in the middle of July. It's July 19th as of right now. We still probably got another week before I would think that we would bottom. So I'm not too worried about this going up. Let it go up more, man. Let the green dragon ride for a second. Let's go up to 267, 270. That's totally normal. This asset, as I've been saying all along, guys, it's a very volatile asset. Bitcoin Cash very rarely moves in straight lines, and whenever it does, I mean, like this looks like it moved in a straight line, right? But I mean, ultimately, I think once this comes down, it'll show its true colors of what it actually does, which is just the same as it's done. I guess the only straight line it moved in really over a long period of time was this one, right? It just went like that for a long period of time. But even if this seems like a straight line, it had in the midst of it from bottom to top over a 47% pump. It had a 50% pump there actually. So you can call that a straight line if it looks like that to you, but let's be real, like there's a 50% pump in the middle. We haven't seen a 50% drop. I think we've seen like a 30-something% drop at the moment. 33, sorry, 29, not even 30%. I would expect that we go down lower, but we're gonna look at the shorter time frames. Let's start with the hour here. Let's go back to this. We are below the 50. We're below the 50 on the long-term RSI on the 1 hour. So I would say, at this point in time, any price that gets above this purple line, so long as this long-term RSI is above or below the 50, even if it gets a little bit above the 50, I would say. But any price that's up here will probably be very short-lived. We might not even close above this line. But if we got above it, that wouldn't surprise me. But I would say that anytime we get above this purple line for the time being is probably a time to sell. And I doubt, if we do get much past this little circle here, if we do go up here, it'll be probably very short-lived. Or if I'm wrong about that, then this up move is going to be a little bit more long-lived than I'm giving it credit for. We are showing, some form of hidden bearish divergence. This high, this peak in the RSI right here. We got this high. You've got a lower high down here, but higher highs in the RSI. I wouldn't classify this as like true hidden bearish divergence. Because they're totally separate moves, but to a certain degree, yes. Okay, like it's there to a certain degree. And again, the real thing that has me worried or not excited is just the way this day opened, man. Two hours and we're already up this high. I don't really I'm not encouraged by that personally. But you know, it could be a good thing. It could be a good thing. Right now, we are kind of hot on the 1 hour RSI. We are at the highest that we've been on this chart since, on the 1 hour since the 12th. It is the 18th now, so almost, or the 19th technically on this day. So this is the 12th, like halfway through the day, so about 6.5 days ago, you know. So on the 1 hour chart, that's a long time, but that's not like too out of the norm, you know. But last time, you know, we went up this high. Maybe we're gonna do something like this where we kind of just dabble in it and reject it, you know, stuff like, it's very common to reject this area. And then these moves, this happened more when we were doing, yeah, stronger things, when we were going upwards. So if we start to see things like this where we're dabbling more in the overbought zone like this, instead of what we've seen more recently, which is get up and reject, stay up here for a short time and reject, you know, instead of doing this stuff, then, you know, if we dabble up here for a long period of time, we linger, basically do the opposite of what we were doing to the downside, right? You can see how this, we're moving down now. This looks a lot like this did, right? But to the reverse effect. We start seeing that, things can change for sure. But I would expect this is the time, all that to say, guys, all that rambling to say, I think that we're at a point in time where we probably will turn around. Let's see if we can get a relative fib drawn on this bad boy. From top to low here, yeah, we're at the 236. We're literally right at it. We tipped it. Previous area of support, now is resistance. I mean, it is totally possible, and it's not even out of the norm to go up to the 382. And again, that would be just below 270. We could even go a little bit past the 382. Totally not out of the norm for that. But if it turned around here, that would imply that we are going to see a stronger move to the downside. Rejecting the 236 or finding support on it normally implies you're going to see a stronger move, normally, but not always. Again, nothing is 100% of the time, right? The only thing that's 100% of the time is this thing moves to the right, right? It keeps going that way. Let me look at my, yeah, that way. Good, yeah, okay. Let's see here. Looking at the more, like, the even more relative fib from this top to this bottom here, you know, we're almost at the 382, so maybe we really don't go that much higher. Maybe we make one little more, or one little last pop up to 354 and then turn around. I really would expect that we're not going to go up to the 260 to like the 270 area. I wouldn't expect it, though it could happen. That's just not my expectation. I do think we turn around from this point. And I do think today has a solid chance of closing red. And if it doesn't close red, we'll probably have a nice wick to the upside. But let's look at the 4-hour RSI real quick and give it a checky poo-poo. Let's see here. Above the 50 at the moment. You know, if this RSI, if we can close in the next 2 hours and 1 minute, basically it can go even a little bit lower. I'd say probably above 247. If you can close above 247 in the next 2 hours, that would imply decent things. You know, closing above the 50 is not a bad thing. It looks like it respects the 50 on the 4-hour. Yeah, you know, kind of in this area. So I would say that if we can close above this 50 like this, that could imply good things. But you'd want to make sure it's a confirmed break, meaning that the next hour we don't just go below it. If we go below it in the next hour, that probably wouldn't be a good thing. If in the next, I say the next hour, I'm sorry, the next 4-hour, if in the next 4-hour we come down to the 50, even if we go below it, but the 4-hour candle hasn't closed and we come back above it and we close here, that could look really good. That could look really good. So look out for that on the 4-hour for anybody who has RSI pulled up. Look for how it's interacting with the 50. That can be very telling for coming moves. If we saw something like that, if it came down and found support on the 50 instead of breaking through it, this is all again assuming that this 4-hour candle closes where it is, or slightly lower or higher, closing to where it would be above the 50. And assuming that happens, if we can hold above the 50, if the next candles to follow do not fall below the 50, and in fact, if they were to fall at all, if they held support on it, that would imply probably a greater move up to this 270 area, which again is not totally out of the norm, but I would think that we'd probably go up to that purple line. We are above the 50. We are above the 50 on the long-term RSI, and we are below the purple line, so that generally is a good time. That would mean that this whole area is kind of a good time to buy, but I am still hesitant on that. It's not always 100% of the time right, and sometimes you can kind of see that, and I think finding resistance on this line like this is a telltale sign of that. Maybe we do go up to the purple line, but we find resistance on it again, just further proving that even though we're above the 50 on the long-term RSI, that we are still kind of neglecting that general setup that I look for. Looking on the daily here, we're on the daily. I mean, let's say today goes up higher, right? Let's say it does go up higher. In fact, let's say we go all the way up to 270 even, but we come back down to 251 or something like that. Or let's say it doesn't go higher, but we close at this area. This would actually be very bearish. It would be a very bearish implication, because if we closed at this area at all today, we would be in a position to reject the 50, which wouldn't be a good look, honestly. And we could even go a little bit higher again, because that's where these areas are. We could go up to about 53, 52, 54 on this RSI. And if we were to reject basically anywhere in this area, if the day closes green and we're up anywhere in this area, that does set us up for rejection, and that would not look good, in my opinion. That would definitely not look good. That would imply stronger moves to the downside are going to happen. But we might not. We might not even close here. If today closes red, we might not have that rejection set up at all. That's still not a good look for price action in the immediate term, but I feel like seeing that would imply a stronger move. But you can get a strong move without that still, so that's not, that's not everything. You are above the 50 on the long-term RSI. You are above the purple line on the price. Purple line is sitting down, and this purple line, just so you know, it's the 123 moving average. The RSI, the long-term RSI, is the 123. I use a 10 for my short-term RSI. And for anyone who's new, I know I have a lot of new subscribers, but the way that they interact generally is whenever the long-term RSI is above the 50 area and price is below the purple line, good time to buy. When the long-term RSI is below the 50 and the price is above the purple line, good time to sell. Generally, not always. And there's I've kind of discovered this in the last year, and I'm getting more practice with it, and like I feel like I'm getting better at kind of discovering when these like fake setups are, and I think that this is a fake setup personally for this one. This is one that I wouldn't pay attention to. In fact, I wonder, let's just see. Yeah, look at the disrespect it shows, this purple line. Like, we've been above it for a while, sure, but look, it doesn't care. So this I would throw, just because, like, look at how disrespected this purple, like up and down and all around, man. And yes, you find some points of significance, but most of the time it looks very disrespected. So I would actually say that the fact that we're above the fit, like this doesn't mean much, man. And you can see it through the price action too. You can definitely see it. We're really far away. We've been below it for quite some time. Generally, you wouldn't see this, but anyways, I think that's all I got for you guys. The same trajectory as it's been for the last like couple weeks now, is that we're going to go somewhere between, I would think, somewhere between 135 and 185 when we find our bottom of this move, when we find our next higher low. I do think we're going to have a higher low. I very much doubt that we go below this low. It could go below 135 even. It's totally possible, but yeah, I do. Whatever today produces, whether it's a green day, whether it's a red day, whatever, I think we do have lower to come. I don't even think we're halfway done with this move yet, technically. So, from where we are now in price, I would think that we have a very decent chance of at least dropping another like 26%, something like that. If not more likely, in my opinion, 30 to 45%, something like that. So, I'm not going to be buying it right now. I've said it before, even that if we were to go up higher, right, and prove me wrong, I would feel much happier buying up here at 290, 280. I'd feel much better buying up here than I would have over here, because then we did have this kind of retracement and then up. But it doesn't make sense to me. It really wouldn't make sense to me to bottom out here, because, ooh, kind of not bad, It's kind of not a bad, if this was to bottom here, find a low, or it'd be the bottom of this move, but a low overall. We closed below it, and then next day, did we close above it? Yeah, we closed above it. This could actually be a prime. This is actually a bullish look, I'm not gonna lie. If we can continue to close green above this red line, this 236, that actually would imply, like I was saying, a bounce off the 236, man. That implies a strong move. But I'm not completely sold yet. I'm not completely convinced. This is why you wait for the candles to close, so that you do get conviction, And I would think multiple days closing above this red line, bouncing like this, that actually wouldn't be a bad thing. At least, at the very bare minimum, probably like a move up to 300, that could imply a move to 20%, and I would think that we would go higher from there, but we could reject that area if we were to move back there. But given the circumstances of the market, I would think if we made this move, we probably would go past it. I would definitely be inclined to buy if we broke above, on a closing basis on a daily, if we closed above 282, 282, I would be inclined to buy. If we broke on a wicking basis at all above 300, I would definitely be inclined to buy. But that's a ways away from now. That could happen, but that's I guess that's, if you want to prove me wrong, do that. And that is a ways away. But again, that's to me, this is a safer buy up here than this is. And I know that might not make sense for some people. This could be a smarter buy long term, but there is a difference between being safe and smart. Being safe can be smart, but being smart is not always safe. You know what I mean? And like really, the difference between being smart and being dumb is just the results, right? If you bought right here and it went up, then you're gonna feel pretty smart. You're gonna look smart when you tell your friends, "Oh, I bought the low on the pullback." But if you buy here and it goes down, you're gonna, it's the reverse effect. You're gonna feel dumb. If you tell anybody about it, they'll be like, "Why'd you buy there, dude?" So it's the difference sometimes between being smart is just the results. Being smart and stupid, you know what I mean? And I do think that a smarter buy would be to wait. Let's see the results. If you want to be bullish on this thing, let's wait and see the results. See if it can, in fact, get up here, close above 282, wick above these areas. If it can do that, then yes, I would say that this is a smarter buy than this. Safer buy than this. Even though this would be the smarter buy. Forgot my own terminology there. Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. I will see y'all on the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Peace out, Dragon Riders.